So this week has been one of the most pivotal weeks of this entire project. What are we, 49 weeks in now? Or 49 episodes anyway. One thing has been something lingering since September of 21. Another thing we've been steadily working on week after week after week. The third thing, it has just started to begin, but it's still a relief on me that it's actually happening. All right, and that one you'll see at the very end of the episode. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Good morning, it's Monday, and I just arrived on site, and I haven't even looked at that walkway yet to see how it turned out over the weekend. You saw in last week's video that we ended up, leaving here under the cover of dark. So I haven't actually seen the final result yet. So let's go have a look. Oh, look at that. It turned out just fine. Uh-oh, I left tools outside. And now you can see with the siding details and flashing details that I left exposed and why I did it the way I did. I left an air gap here so that when snow and rain and whatnot sits here, it can flow over the edge, and then it hits the flashing down there and then goes back to soil. I did the same thing here at this doorway so we can get the water to drain there, because that's always a rot spot there. And seeing how this is standalone, we don't have to worry about ledgering it right there. And then the retaining wall, we still have to deal with that. Don't know if we can do it this year or not. Well, I'm excited. Oh, the simple things. Well, now we get to work on what we're going to do today. What's that going to be? Final clean out of the house before sheetrock. We'll get going on that, and then we might tear up the floor in the primary suite. Well, you know how plans go. I'll see something and have to fix that instead. So, let's get right into it then. Change of plans, yet again. As you know, I'm a student of the weather, and I'm always looking at it, making sure we're taking advantage of it, especially this time of year. And getting that walkway done, that was awesome. Jumping on it, getting it done. But the weather has changed yet again in its foreseeable forecast, and it's not that bad. I mean, a couple of days of rain, but no snow, no drastically freezing temperatures. So, with that said, the retaining wall. The flipping retaining wall. We have plans to do a tiered garden back there. And so there's a very specific number of feet of rise and run and shelves that need to be put in and all of that. And so basically, it's only gonna cost me time and equipment rentals. Luckily, I've got a friend who's a landscaper who has trucks and a dump trailer, and I got my dump trailer, and he's got a guy that's basically idling right now because they're waiting for the snow to fly. And so it's just an absolute perfect situation for me. We're pretty much wrapped up in here waiting for sheetrock, so if I can jump on that, man, whoa, what a weight that'll be to get lifted. So here's how it's gonna go. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and abandon the inside of the house, get out there, get the backyard cleaned up. I put some plastic down to help keep soil from getting saturated and that sort of thing. Well, that's gonna get abandoned. We're gonna pull that out of there, and then there's a bunch of logs that were chopped up, waiting for firewood. I'll take those home and throw them in the bonfire pit. We'll just get rid of those. Go through, just kind of clean up as much as I can, and really wrap my head around my game plan. I have a mini excavator and a skid steer being delivered on Wednesday. Wednesday is one of the rain days. I have my buddy and his employee showing up on Wednesday morning as well, around 10 a.m. So if the equipment gets here, we'll jump on it and just cruise on this thing. If the rain is too drastic, then maybe we'll postpone a day. It is super windy out, so I'll just throw you on time lapse while I clean up the backyard. Yeah, this is exciting. Because the alternative to this would have been putting it in the contract that I come back in the spring once the thaw happens and then do the project then when somebody else owns the property. And I really didn't want to get involved in that. I feel much more comfortable going into the sale of the property, not having anything in the wings, and just let the property go and move on with our lives. Good morning, it's Tuesday, and I am going to start the day by going out back and looking at the retaining wall and really kind of visualizing what the finished product's going to be and seeing how I'm going to be doing that. I don't know that I can take you with me. Yeah, be hard for me to show you, and yeah. Anywho, I'll start there, then I'll get back in here and we'll just get right to work on, whatever miscellaneous sheetrock free stuff we can do and cleaning out. We have a lot of clean out to do. We may even do a dump run. I don't know. There's definitely not enough to fill the trailer, so maybe we'll throw it all in a truck and do it that way. That's a good idea. We should do that just to get it out of here. But we'll clean the house out first so we have all in one shot. All right, I'm gonna jump out back and have a look out there. So this tree stump is a great example of why this wall failed to begin with. You can see the main part of the bulb here. As it grew, it was pushing on the wall, and that's what snapped it. You can see all these big, massive roots. They're still really intact. I want to come in here and cut as much as this as possible so that when I get in here with the excavator, I can hopefully pop it free. And hopefully the whole hillside doesn't just give out when I do that. And yeah, you're gonna have to wish me luck on that one. And you can see, I think, the vegetation here, even though this was all exposed, and it's all a really fine sand right here, Mother Nature did try to grow whatever this is right here, even though I had this tarped off. And so sun was super intermittent and water was intermittent. So even with all that said, harsh soil, lack of sun, Mother Nature still came in here and tried to stabilize the slope for me. So that's gonna be the goal today before it starts raining, to get in here and cut these roots up as much as possible. Be very, very quiet. Do you hear that? I've got heat! Whew. I was out back, cleaning up the backyard, decided to work through the rain, screw it, and was getting that all sorted, and I heard somebody pull in, and it was Elton. He came in and got the modines up and running. So the boiler is up. We have one zone up and running, and what a relief just to have some momentum on the two big tickets that we've been waiting on, which has been heat and sheetrock. And I'm not going to talk about sheetrock. I'm not going to do it. Because I have a win right now and I'm going to celebrate it. Whew. But this does mean we need to get real motivated on sealing the basement space off. So, I don't know, 1 or 2 episodes ago, we talked about closing off the openings into the stone foundation. So we're going to do that now because we have heat running and I don't want to just be wasting money. And because now we have it up and running, we have to keep it running. So until sheetrock happens, we got to play a delicate dance of spending money on propane and having heat going and without any sort of ceiling insulation in the upper level. I'm so excited, I can't stop talking. Okay, screw gun, ladder, tarps, plastics, whatever I got. Right, check, let's go. Today is gonna be a big day, hopefully. Hopefully. It has been raining, I mean not hard, but drizzling for the last 24 hours or so. So I don't wanna, it could be a little risky because I'm getting a mini excavator and a skid steer delivered today. And we're gonna get pocket rainbow load connected up to a truck. And I have a buddy coming in who is a landscaper professionally, and he's kind of in between his busy season. Our snow is gone, and you can't be landscaping this time of year, so he's just kind of, you know, putzing around. So I called him up and said, hey, can you come give me a hand with this? So what he's gonna do is him and his guy will be here. I'm gonna put one of them in a truck and one of them in a skid steer, and they're gonna be hauling material out of here because we're gonna get on that retaining wall and we're gonna go through that whole plan. I'm gonna do it with him and I'll film it for you guys, and so everyone can see exactly what the plan's gonna be, and we're gonna talk about how we're gonna execute it. But until that starts, I need to continue getting ready for sheetrock, which I still haven't heard from. I guess we'll get back on the plan of creating space in there and getting all the random stuff in there. Okay, I have a couple of hours before the machines show up, so let's just get to it.
Video ever.
All right, so I'm here with my friend Brett and his buddy Danny. We're gonna attack this retaining wall between the three of us, and we're gonna figure out what the best method is for each of us in each machine. I'm gonna start out in the excavator because I want to do the scary bit and I don't want anyone to get hurt but me. And so they're gonna figure out what they want to do for actually removing the material and getting hauled off. I'm gonna go over the plan. This is the proposed bank at where I cut the goat path, right? So that's Steve's backyard there, right? Right now, the old retaining wall that is still existing still lives here. It's pitched at an angle like that though.
Yeah, the ones over time's pushed out.
Right.
Yeah.
So the box elders up here snapped at the halfway point where all the anchors were, and then that sloughed off, right? Okay. So, but in that whole process, the entire wall moved, right? So the base is still there. What I want to do is, after we do the first big cut, every vertical plane can't be vertical. It's gonna be
tape
a 2/1.
Right.
Okay. So we're gonna do that. So every 2 feet of up, you have to have 1 foot over. Yeah. And so I'll just give you a 4 foot square or a 4 foot level and a 2 foot level. Keep it super simple. And so 4 foot up, 2 foot over, right? That's the minimum. We can go more than that. We just can't go less.
Right.
Okay. So what I want to do is once we cut the first shelf and we go to taper that shelf, we're going to take, call it here. Okay. We'll take this and simply take this and put it here.
Okay.
We'll just slough it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then this way, his yard continues the normal slope, and then we start benching on my property.
There you go.
Okay.
Good idea, yeah.
Okay? And then it'll be the same thing up and over. I'm thinking we only have a couple, because the retaining wall on this side has a fair bit of exposure still, so we can really pack the dirt in there. And then 4-foot lift off of that will put us almost halfway up.
What are you going to do to retain the soil?
Hydro seed.
Okay.
Yep. So we've got a guy who's willing to bring his rig out of winter and spray it all if we have a day warm enough.
Okay.
After we're done digging.
Yep.
So if we can execute that, and we got a wildflower.
Exactly.
To grow on, yeah.
Yeah. So something that's native to our area. It's for our pollinators for this area. That way, if someone wanted to do something with it, they could. If they wanted to leave it alone, they can leave it alone.
Right.
It'll be beautiful. Flowers all over the place. It'll be great. That's my wife's problem. That's this is our problem. So I mean, as you guys know, like I'm a carpenter. I haven't been in a machine in probably 10 years.
Okay.
A proper machine. So my focus is going to be so steadfast on what I'm doing with the bucket. If anything's going on outside of that wall, don't be afraid to stop me.
Of course.
Okay.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Honk horns, whatever. Obviously, don't approach the machine unless we make eye contact.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Typical brew there.
We know how to swing on under buckets.
Yep.
Well, don't. Get my attention first. Throw a rock at me, I don't care. Yeah, and you know, I did say I did test the hillside right up against it, and it's super stable. I'm not projecting any problems. The engineer's not projecting
Just
any
make sure
problems.
you always have your machine straight on with your blade out.
Yep.
Yep.
Do not do your digging sideways.
Nope.
If you do your digging
Side.
if you
Yeah,
do your
'cause you
digging
look on
sideways, okay, you may have your bucket if you start going down.
Right.
You want to be face on where you can drive that machine and have that blade and everything.
Right, and-
I know it means you have to move around more,
Right,
but on a
pivot.
hillside like this, never dig sideways.
Right.
The way the machine is right now, that's a no-no.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Sweet.
Okay, and we'll have to get hooked up to the trailer.
That was exciting. I really enjoy running heavy equipment, even small equipment like that. It's a pleasure. It's an art. I really applaud anyone who's out there doing it full time. I don't know if I could. I really enjoy doing it when I get an opportunity, but I don't know if I could do it every day. Man, it is an art form, and getting back in the saddle like that and getting used to the bucket and the controls and the quirks of the machine, and you build a relationship with those things. You really do. Anyway, after the sun went down, I went ahead and dug a stump out that was between me and Tom's house, right at the driveway entrance of his driveway, and right where the brick walkway we ended. And I am pretty wet. I got pretty wet out there, and I'm pretty tired, actually. I'm pretty hungry, as you see me waving my little meat stick at you. All right. Good night, and I will see you in the morning.
Good morning. It's
Thursday, and it drizzled most of the night. So the ground is still going to be kind of soupy and hard to work with, but we'll do the best we can. And if we can't finish the project today, then so be it. But anytime running equipment, you should always, first thing in the morning, go through and clean up any sort of debris that might be caught up in the tracks or, you know, anywhere. Any sort of debris, roots and rocks and things like that. And grease the machine. Always grease your machine. Every day. As a former mechanic, I know what happens to these machines, and I know the wear and tear that they go through. And greasing it is just a simple thing you can do and prevent so much downtime. Because if you break a pin on one of these things, what a disaster it can be. But I talked to the delivery driver yesterday. He said it got greased right before it came to me. So I know it's been greased, and you can see grease on fittings and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give every fitting 3 or 4 pulls, and we'll just keep going. And that's the thing, that you don't want to have so much grease that's, you know, expanding out of every orifice. That's just a waste, and it's not good for anything. As long as the machine is greased on a regular basis, 3 or 4 pulls on every Zerk, call it good. So fun little fact, these old houses, they used to burn only coal and wood to keep the place warm. Well, what they would do with their coal ash is just dump it in the backyard. That's what all of this is. There's a chunk of coal right there, another chunk there. Before I bury all of it, I thought I'd show you. So this whole section right over here is just this huge bed of coal ash, and it's pretty much through the entire property. And yeah, just a little fun fact of the area, I guess. What a day. Pretty much we're done with the machines at this point, except for fixing the uphill property that we have absolutely decimated. Luckily that landowner is pretty blasé about the property and doesn't really care what we do. So, but I care, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix everything that we damaged over there. Of course, that just, I don't even know why that should even be said. We'll jump on that tomorrow. Brett and Danny are coming back for another day. yeah, I couldn't imagine doing this project without him. Actually, I could. It would suck. I would do it. It would take forever. But I didn't, because I had the help. So they'll be back tomorrow. I don't have them for a full day, but I do have them for a good chunk of it. And I got a little surprise for you tomorrow. A little something extra happened off camera. And we'll get into that tomorrow. For now, I'm gonna say goodnight. I'm whipped. Absolutely whipped. Okay. Good night. I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning. It's Friday and we're straight after it already. Danny's in a skid steer over there. And I'm in the X again. Already got to maintain, topped off with fuel and ready to go. So I'm gonna try to give you some action photos today, or video. All right, hope you enjoy. What are you doing? So my wife and I are big into native pollinators. You know, want to promote bees and butterflies and moths and all those things. And the engineer on this, well, I guess this build, he specified we had to make sure we seeded this immediately. Now, we've got super lucky on the weather in the last couple of days and we were able to knock this thing out, but there's no good weather in the foreseeable future to get hydro seed done. That was the original plan. So now what we're going to do is called, was it not irrigation, but erosion netting. So it's seed impregnated netting that has straw in it, and we can staple it to the soil. But before we do that, I wanted to put in our seed packs that we purchased for seeds that are normally found in this area that are also good for erosion control. And this one is a showy Northeast native wildflower and grass mix. So I'm gonna put some of this down first, and then we're gonna get the net and we're gonna roll the net down. And some of this is higher growing and shorter growing, and some of it is really prolific and really takes over. So I have to be careful on which seed I use where. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. Can't be that hard. So I want to talk a little bit about these seeds. The company's called
Ernst Seeds, E-R-N-S-T, out of Mercer Pike, Meadville, Pennsylvania. Meadville? I don't know. If you want the contact information, let me know. I'll give it to you. This one's called the Showy Northeast Native Wildflower and Grass Mix. Pretty cool stuff. If you're looking for seeds that are native to your area, these are the folks to call. I think. At least that's who we called. Yeah, really cool. And it turned out pretty easy. You know, we got some seed left over because we have quite a bit left to do. Now, my local supplier only had the one roll of the erosion mat. So we're about a third of the way through. I've got 2 more rolls on order, and they should be coming in hopefully Monday. As long as we don't get any snow, it'll be pretty easy to put down. I think I can do it by myself. It'd be nice to have help. And it was really nice to have help to do this whole project. Man, I cannot thank Danny and Brett enough. It was awesome. I mean, yeah, I had to hire them, but still, the point is they were available, they're professionals. I got to work with people who know what they're doing and we're adults. And anyone who's in the trades knows exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, all right. Well, what else can I show you? Oh, yeah. Look at this. The whole front yard is mulched. It's done. We can check that completely off the list. And I still have somebody helping me. Look at that. Look at him go. Oh. But during this whole project, we had a couple of boo-boos happen on the new sidewalk and alleyway area. A little unfortunate, which is what Danny's working on now. He's gonna help me rebuild that whole end. We're gonna flatten it down, make it a lot nicer, because I went ahead and yanked out that old retaining wall that was falling down for the neighbor and straightened his driveway out and flattened it. Gave him basically 2 to 3 more feet of usable space, which is great for him. Yeah. And that was all, I did all those extra things because they allowed me to use their property to do my big project. So one hand washes the other in my book. You can see here where Danny's digging. He's gonna pull all that extra material out so we can grade this nicely out to the sidewalk. Still diggable, Dan?
What's that?
Still diggable?
Yeah.
Sweet. This side of the retaining wall is still damaged. I didn't do anything here. The homeowner says he is going to take care of it, but we'll see. That's kind of the bummer down there, where I dropped the stump and it just took all that rock out right onto the new walkway. I don't think it took too much damage, but the good news is the window did not take any damage. Looks like I really need to do this today because this rock, this dirt is freezing on my wood. So that's the extent of the damage. So I should be able to scuff this up, restain it, and it should be fine. All right, see how far I get before the sun is completely gone. Heat. Retaining wall. Well, not a wall, but you know, you saw what happened. Sidewalk or alleyway, damaged, rebuilt, done. The corner of the sidewalk there, they had that box elder that was just would not die. Yanked that out, fixed the retaining wall. Well, at least that section of it. And The front yard? That's all done. Goodness, look at all those things. Done. Whew. And for the last surprise of this week, man, I'm feeling overwhelmed, honestly. So much has been done. So many things have been weighing on me. That retaining wall, big long story. I may share it, I may not. And heat, you've heard the struggle on that. For the final thing that has kind of started, that has made this week the most impressive week, let me show you. You see all this stuff over here? Tools, whatnots, stilts. Can you guess who this all belongs to? The sheetrockers. They have delivered part of their stuff. That is forward momentum, people. Whew. Second week of September, I've been waiting for sheetrock to hit this house. Here we are, the 9th of December, and it started. Finally, started. Now, you haven't seen any, sheets of sheetrock laying around. And that's because it's not here yet. Where it's coming from, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. But that is exciting. That is forward momentum. Yes! All right. Thank you for stopping by. High Peaks Home.